having the stream? Hmm. The power of the live archive. So we're going to go over each of the components that go into a loadout. And two of them I'm not going to share with you for now because you haven't gotten there yet. But one of them I'm going to share part of it with you because I do think you're actually ready for it, despite you maybe not believing that you are. So the first piece we're going to go over is the subclass. When you're making a loadout for movement, you need to think about what you're using to accentuate that movement. Everything you do is going to be key to making sure that you can move efficiently and save yourself in a situation where your goal, particularly the goal, is to get around. Now, obviously, being effective is something that is important, and that's not going to go away anywhere you go, whether you're playing this on a casual level, an in-game level, an adept in-game level, a critical level, or you're just trying to help someone out through something. You need to make sure that you're not just going to have strictly loadout for movement and nothing to protect yourself, and then you get fucked over if something happens. But you also need to keep yourself safe. Now, obviously, this touches a variety of other different things from armor set bonuses and custom interactions to exotic out retrofitting and usage to weapon usage for traversal. But right now, we're going to focus on the subclass. So I want you to open Broodweaver. So we're going to start with our abilities. So the three that are going to come into focus here are Grenade, our Glide, and the Rift type. Your Rift type will always be a selection between what you think will help you the most during traversal. So, for example, if you traverse and you feel like you take damage from enemies that are in traversal, or you get shot off guard, or something happens off guard, then using something like Healing Rift might be more efficient for you. If you're more confident in your survival and you want something where it's like, damn, I used my grenade, but I need that back. Or, oh, well, there's a couple of things here and I need an ammo brick in order to get more sword ammo or to get more mountaintop ammo or whatever I'm using to jump, then an empowering rift might be applicable. But you have to remember, committing to these choices does mean you have to deal with them wherever you are. That means the traversal. So if you put it on during traversal, there's no taking it off during traversal without also having to wait for the time. Does that make sense? So, looking at your rips, which one do you think is best for you? Okay. Now, we're going to move over to our glide. Now, for you, I know, this has been controversial because I know you've been using burst glide, you're used to it. However, there are situations where strafe glide can help you. And I say this as someone who used to only use balance glide. I promise you, certain technology is okay to not use burst glide. Let me show you. So let's say I have on burst glide. To read its description, as it works, when you jump while airborne and you activate glide, you'll start a drift and gain an initial boost of speed. Warlock glide, which most people call the worst jump, but it's actually one of the better ones next to lift, is entirely based on verticality and momentum. So if you jump, the boost that you get will always be based on the lateral direction you're moving. That can be horizontal, that can be vertical, that can be trizontal. It just depends on how you move. If you're ever in a situation where you go, oh, I jumped, but I'm falling, remember you have to stagger your momentum with the jump. If there's a ledge, don't jump immediately because you might end up staggering your burst if you press A too fast and you might accidentally miss the ledge. Instead, jump, and then once you have a burst moving up, convert your burst into a glide and then let it carry you. That way, you can maintain momentum shift. Now, your favorite, strafe glide. I know you know how it works, but there's a couple of nuances to make it work even better. Jumping while airborne to activate glide and starting an airborne drift will give you strong directional control. So what this means is when you glide, you have a better level of verticality. The issue, you don't gain the burst that you usually do with burst glide, so sometimes it can fall very, very short of ledges. And if you're in a situation where burst glide may have given you that extra oomph, you don't necessarily make the cut all the time. With regards to eagering, though, this creates situations where you go relatively slow because the control that you would have with burst glide to add momentum is lost in the name of vertical control. So when you're eagering, burst glide is the best to use, but you have to act accordingly based on what you're doing. And recently I've seen you've done excessively well. And you seem to have a really good idea of that, but I want to give you a couple of tips and tricks when you are gliding, when you soared. When you soared, you have to remember that you're converting momentum in order to make actions work. So, for example, if I soared in place, we're about at the 15-meter line. If I soared and let myself glide, I can clear that entire 15 meters. When you glide, the glide is extending off of your sword. So, as you've learned when you're switching, it converts the momentum from when you were gliding to movement. That movement, however, can be staggered in other ways, and you can hyperconvert that multiple times across a single glide if you have the distance for it. Sometimes you have to make sure you touch the ground, but depending on your fall height, you might be able to stagger that. Now, granted, this is more eclectic, so it's not something that's going to come into play every single time you do something. But it's not to say that it may not have a moment where you need to use it and it becomes important. Now, your grenade is going to be pretty obvious. You're going to use grapple grenade. But there is a reason why you're using grapple grenade. And it's because it just generally saves you. But there are some nuances to grapple grenading as well as skating, which is what I'm going to show you here. So for your aspects, the aspects that I would recommend you use, you're going to laugh, are the Wanderer. And this is because tangles you throw and attach to targets will detonate in a burst. But it creates a single throughput line and weave walk. Now the Wanderer is a bit more situational, and I need to make ads, so I'll spawn a couple. But for weave walking, I want to show you what weave walk skating looks like, and it can be a bit tricky. So we might have to go over your keybinds, and you may have to relearn some muscle memory. But let's say I'm at the back of the room, right? If I eager and I don't switch, I'd say this is about 20 meters from the door here to the steering dummy selection. Let's say I go back to start, I eager, and then switch. I say it's about 30 meters from the back to the front of the range. Now let's say I combine these things and then I weave walk skate. I can successfully make it to the end of the entire range. So, weave walking, or weave walk skating, is done by converting the excess momentum from eager edging into the weave walk animation. When you enter weave walk, you gain a burst of momentum, and then from there you fall as you fall into the other dimension to sit in the weave. You gain threadlings and you gain woven mail on exit, and it uses your melee charge persistently. It takes about 5% to activate, and it will drain at a rate of 2.5% every second that you're in weave walk. Now, typically, what this would mean is that for your traversal loadout, you would want to spec high melee and high weapons. Weapons for ammo gen in the event you run out and you need to make some, and then melee so that way you can consistently skate. Grenade as well, but if you skate properly and you jump properly, you're not really going to be in a lot of situations where you need to necessarily use your grenade all that much. So 55 is the small cutoff for that, and that's good enough. So in our case, let's start weave walking piece by piece. Do you have it equipped? Okay, I want you to go into weave walk. Okay. Now, did you notice how when you entered, your character did that little hop? Okay, come out. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to follow my lead as close as you can. You ready? Okay. Actually, here, come here. This is a better range. Ready? Good. Now, we're going to walk up to the 7 mm line. Now, I want you to pay close attention. Ready? When you hit the apex of your skate, I want you to activate weave walk and then deactivate it. I got you. You got your first. Okay. One sec, King. Don't forget the small card on the thingy. I can carry it with you. Here, hold on. King. Practice your walk. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to walk the cart down with Kira to the car. King.
guardian down.
We're back. How have you been? Oh, yeah? How are the attempts going? Oh? Where can I help you? You did! What do you mean? What? No, no, it's not even height. So here, I'll show you. So part of your eagers right now, you're very excited to do them, which is great. So when you do them, you jump very high, and then sometimes it staggers your momentum. When you jump and you eager, you have to think about the space that you're in. Think of it as like a box. What's the range of this box that I can go while going the fastest without being interrupted? And then when it comes to weave walk skating, the trick, and that's why I said we might have to rebind some of your moves, is to do it multiple times or to glide again. So here's what a weave walk skate looks like if I only glide once. The reason why is because when you start the skate, it locks your momentum in place because you're doing the weave walk animation. And each time you weave walk, that burst, all passive momentum in Destiny, whether it be shatter skating, well skating, etc., works on a conversion basis. It uses real time physics. So if you're moving and you already have the burst from momentum from a burst glide, when you weave walk skate, that glide and the momentum that you gain from each burst of going into weave walk just goes into the exact same direction. So instead of it being like this or like this, Or like this, you hold it at the apex and it looks like this. Yeah! See? And then the trick to looping it is doing it again each time you exit. So if you wanted to seamlessly reblock, like here's a great example. So let's say I start here at the Boss Colossus. Each time you enter, you have to make sure that you do them in quick succession, because the less time you have exiting the animation, the more the game will have time to register you're falling, not flowing. If I fall, it looks like that. If I'm flowing, it looks like that. That's a tricky one, I know. Show us what you picked up so far, and then we'll walk through it based on where you are. Okay, so let's take that one. So what did you feel confident in, and what do you feel like you could work on? Okay, elaborate. No, no, no. But you did do it correctly. You can't do that. You can't bully yourself and go, oh, well, it didn't go as far as yours, so it doesn't look right. Because if I did it right, it would have taken me. No, no, no. Weave skating took us 3 months to understand fully. It was a lot of practice, a lot of practice. My very first weave skate, I would say at maximum, I wouldn't hear. And every time I would come out, I would come out of weave walk on the ground, not even floating. Like I would just dead ass be sitting down. So you can't say, no, you fucked it up just because you didn't go far, because you didn't fuck it up. You did great. But you have to talk about what piece of it you didn't do great on so we can address it together. Try again. Okay. So now that you did great. You went from the 70 meter to the 35 meter line. That's perfect. Okay. Now let's break it down into pieces. What did you do good? And don't tell me you don't know. Okay. When you say you don't, tell me what that looks like. Hmm? Do you have my stream up? Open our stream because I think I know what might be causing you problems. In fact, I'm almost certain I know what's causing you problems. In your game, open your inventory, go to settings, go to button layout. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to scroll down. What is your Warlock Icarus dash button set to? Okay. When you do it, how does that feel on your thumb? Hmm. Okay. I see. I see. What if, and this is why I said earlier, we need to think about your binds. What if you set that to a single press? How does your thumb feel? Like before you even press it, take your thumb, put it on A, and just swish it back and forth from A to B. How does that feel on your thumb? Okay, now swish back and forth to A to B, like pressing A, pressing B, pressing A, pressing B. How does that feel? Okay, try a weave walk now. It's okay. It's okay. Don't panic. It's fine. Here, come on. We'll walk through it together. So we need to start. We're going to go in flow steps, just like we did when I taught you how to eat your edge. We're going to start, take out our sword. We're going to eager edge in place. There you go. Here, let's do that a couple times. There you go. Okay. Now, we're going to eager edge, and we're going to burst glide at the end of our eager edge, like normal. Do you know what you just did? You did the weave skate. You did the weave skate. You weave skated and you didn't even think about it. Miss, I fucked it up. You do see what you did? You were at the 70-meter line and you weave skated to 35 meters on accident. No, you have to think. If you did it on accident, that means the muscle memory is already there. You can't, when you do something, there's a difference between active thought and constructive thought. Active thought is making choices. Constructive thought is combining muscle memory to create a chain. Active thought is saying, okay, I need to weave walk skate from here to 35 meters. And then thinking about it, and going, okay. Passive thought or constructive thought is going, okay, you said eager edge and then burst. Oh shit, that's the wrong button. And before you even know it, you're already at the other side of the arena. You have the muscle memory. You understand what that looks like. But because you're not actively thinking about it, you think you're fucking up. And that's wrong. And you know it is. But it's scary. And I get that. I fully understand it. But that's the entire point of us doing it now, so we can practice. And part of practicing is giving yourself credit that you did do something correctly. You can't bully yourself while you're learning. And don't you dare say some smart aleck shit like, watch me, because I will wove you. I'll wove you. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll keep doing it. I swear I will. I love you too. And I'm confident that you can do it. So, let your mind flow. Don't think too hard about it. Because the more you think about it, the more you think you're fucking things up, and then your brain gets loud, and then your mind gets loud, and then everything starts telling you you're doing something wrong, and you bully yourself. Just do. Copy. Like you normally do. Yes! See? See? Uh-huh. Look at you. Get those reps in. Mm-hmm. See how you're thinking about it every time? How every time you're thinking about what you're doing at the end of that jump? You see that? You see how... No, you can't hide from me. You see that? You see how when you landed, you looked down and then looked back? Like, okay, this is further than what I did last time. So it's because... Okay, so it's because I touched the ground. But that time, I floated a little bit. So if I float a little bit versus touch it, then okay. Okay. You see that? You see that? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Look at you! Look at you repping it! Look at you! Oh, I don't understand it. I think I'm doing it wrong. I fucked it up. You fucked it up, huh? You fucked it up? Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah. She says as she does 2 reps and then gets to the other side. Look at you! It's half court, dog. Like it. Oh my god. You can't see your biggest problem is that everything you do, you lock everything into muscle memory so quickly. But because you can't consciously think about the muscle memory, you don't think you're doing it right, and then you bully yourself. Like, I want you to understand, do you know how little I think about this? Like, grapple melee for the longest fucking time was the most stressful thing to me because the thought of fucking it up was so hard. Do you know how much my brain just gets into the flow of, oh, I fucked it up. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I need my grenade back. Oh, Oh, I fucked it up. I need another grenade. Hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry up. Ah, it's so passive. Everything you're doing, you keep doing it in succession. And every time you do it in succession, you build so much muscle memory that it becomes so natural to you that it doesn't feel any different from just doing it. But because you have to think about it in this moment, and you keep thinking you need to think about it in this moment. You keep thinking, oh no, I forgot. She just said it too. Fuck. I don't remember what she said. Did she say to jump? Did she say fuck? I don't know. Fuck. And then it all gets confusing. Sometimes not thinking is the best thinking. Sometimes doing what comes to you is better than stopping to think about it. As B would say, gamble. Gamble the execution. You never know. You might end up getting it correct. Yeah! And now you're at Carl. Like I just, oh my god, like it's so peak. Like you can't, no. Every time you try to bullshit me and say, no, I'm not getting it, I'm fucking it up. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna weave you. I'm gonna weave you. I'm gonna just weave you. I'm just actually like I'm weaving it. I'm straight weaving it. Like there's no way you're fucking it up. Oh well, I didn't do it correctly. Really? Really? You sure about that? I have the clip. I'm streaming. This is archived. This is all footage. This call is being monitored and recorded for quality assurance and security. It's so peak. It's so peak. Like you're such a good learner. Like I just, oh my god. I'm so thankful I get to like handcraft show you all of this because it just shows how much everyone could learn if like they had someone that just paid attention to them, not the thing, not the process, not what it should be like or how fast it should be or how fast it should happen, but them. Cause like it's so peak. It's so like it doesn't get more peak than this in my opinion. Oh, it's so peak. It's so peak. And it's funny because now you just keep doing it. And every time you do it better and better than the last time. And then you keep running out of ways to be like, well, no, I fucked it up. Well, no. The fool. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Look at that. Now you know how to weave skate, which is peak, which means we can move on to the next piece of your loadout. So, going back down what we were going through, having the Wander, and this is something I do need to actually now I'm going to spawn in the Scions. Well, I'll spawn in Legionaries. They're easier targets. So you know how the Wanderer works, right? Okay, let's rally. So let's say you get a tangle. And let's say you need to go somewhere. Using the Wanderer, I want you to throw this tangle and make it half court, and I want you to grab it onto the tangle. It's okay. You'll get there. Or come on. Reps. You may have to get another grapple, though. Unless it came back to you already. Actually, that's right. You're not used to even grappling on... Okay, here, hold on. I'll show you. So, when you have a tangle... What the fuck? It's because Deluge is on. I didn't turn it off. When you have a tangle, part of what the tangle will let you do, when you pick one up, it'll start a 12-second cooldown on your HUD every time you make one. And it'll show you that so you know how long you have before you can make another one. This is to prevent like war mine cells. And then when you're holding it, you have 20 seconds with it in your hands before it destroys itself, like you just saw. You can make a tangle by unraveling an enemy, by severing an enemy, or by suspending an enemy, and they'll always unweave. Additionally, secondary damage that has strand after effects, like arc attacks that can then lead into other things, or other status effects that can cause other status effects, can create the same effect. When you throw a Wanderer, as you can see, that's a non-Wanderer, right? If you have the Wanderer equipped, your tangle will take the form of a clear line. And then from there, that clear line will be something that you can throw to cross infinite distance. So when you throw a tangle that has the Wanderer, it looks like that. And if there's enemies, it'll track to the enemies to suspend them, because that's the intended purpose for it, like for combat's sake. But let's say you're using it and you're trying to make another one. Now this is important. I'm going to make a grapple because I want or a grapple point because I want you to see what it looks like. When you grapple onto something, you'll always get your grapple back. That way you can infinitely reuse it. That's how grapple melee works as well. Every time you grapple successfully to something that will return it, you'll get a buff in your HUD that says grapple returned. So you'll know you'll still have it once you're done. Additionally, if you did it correctly, instead of vanishing and refreshing itself, it'll turn black because you're using it, and then from there, when you're done, it'll refresh. So if you have a tangle, and let's say it's a Wanderer tangle, right? And you throw it, and you grapple onto it with enough distance, see how it would have carried me? And if I hadn't let go, it would have carried me out of the entire arena. For you, this is going to be way faster and way simpler than well skating, because it's going to give you much more accessibility and it'll help you bolster your fundamentals. Once your fundamentals are truly firm, then we'll move on to well skating. But like even with this, it's a very surefire way to cross gaps very, very quickly. And it can be very, very beneficial too. And previously, you couldn't do what you can do now with it. But now that you can weave skate, it opens a world of opportunities. Now, I'm not going to teach you how to do this yet because it will take time, but I'm going to show you what it looks like so you can get a hint for what it can be in the future. Okay, now here, follow me. Mm-hmm. Remember, your binds are new now. So every time you press your air dive or air dodge, in the case of Warlock, you'll go into Weave Walk if you have your movement loadout equipped. So keep that in mind. Every time you make a loadout, remember there are two things. Fundamental. These are fundamentals, so pay attention. Your first is that your binds always work with what you're using. So that's situational in different cases. For me right now, as a Brood Weaver, that's Weave Walk. If I activate Dawnblade, that's an Icarus Dash. If I, well, you can no longer do it, but back when it used to be possible, if I were a Shadebinder and I did that in the air, it would be a Frost Pulse. But they canceled the ability to do that because they nerfed the fuck out of it for PvP in year 4. And with that, each time you do, your loadout will be what controls how you go and where you go. So you have to keep that in mind and use it accordingly. The second is that each time you change your loadout is your identity. So what you're using in that loadout is what carries through each thing you do in every moment that you are. So if I switch from Broodweaver to Dawnblade, I now need to think like a Dawnblade. If I switch from Dawnblade to Prismatic, I need to think like Prismatic. You have to make sure that your muscle memory is connected to the thing that you're touching in that moment. And that's something that I'm telling you right now is a fundamental, not because I want you to think about it, because I know you're going to think about it actively. And don't worry, I'm gonna beat that out of you later on today. Smile. But it's something that you have to think about passively. Your muscle memory, the more you do it, will start to build better attention and you'll gain better awareness of what you're doing. Certain things will start to stick out to you and you'll start to understand certain things more. So, for example, if I'm on Prism, I'm not going to use my air dodge at all in Warlock because there's nothing on Prism that allows me to air dodge anything at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion. The closest would be a unique interaction that you can technically get with grapple melee. And even then, you need to have the navigator. And it's not really special, so to say. It's just being able to activate it if you point at one, and you can gain a non attentive or offensive grapple. But if you have a strand melee equipped, then you can convert it into a grapple punch. Now, using this in a consistent manner is extremely inconsistent and advanced tech, and it's not tech that we're ever going to cover. I'll show you exactly how to do it and teach you it. But when I say cover, I mean like go into in depth because there's not really that much to learn out of it. And unless you're like just hyper abusing an interaction like this when you could just use a Broodweaver, it's not really that relevant to you. But I will teach you so you have the knowledge. But for example, the only thing that I would use here would be my hold air dodge, and that's for Phoenix Dive, but that's a separate bind. So you have to keep in mind and work accordingly. Whatever you have equipped is what you're using. So in your case right now, you're a Broodweaver. So you have to remember, if you have melee energy, every time you jump and press B, you will weave walk. Okay, now moving on to our next piece. Fragments. So your fragments are going to be what accentuates the use case of your build. Everything that you put into your build through fragment's sake is going to control a different piece of what you do and how you do it. And it's not going to be so game breaking or so changing that it'll shift the scope of things. That's what your aspects are for. But your fragments will make the moment to moment choices have more value each time you change one and use a different fragment in a different situation. So, for example, I'm right now on Prism Warlock. So, standing next to you, nothing happens. But because I have Faceted Protection active and I'm standing next to closer more than 3 enemies, I now have 10% damage resistance just for being around 3 enemies. If I transcend, I now have 15% damage resistance just for being around more than 3 enemies. Having passive understanding of things like this is important because it gives you knowledge of what you're using and it makes sure that you're aware of what's around you. The same with your aspects. If I'm using Lightning Surge, I have to remember every time I slide, if I press my melee, I can Lightning Surge. But there's also consequences to your choices. Because if I use my melee passively and don't think about it, and then I go, okay, I want to slide melee, but I don't have a charge, now I look stupid. Because I'm sliding, no charge though. So you're not doing shit until you get that charge back. So you have to think about what you're doing as you're doing it. In your case, since you're making a loadout specifically spec'd for movement, this is going to come down to your fragments of choice that are going to change what you do for movement. And this is where we're going to talk about the differences between your fragments. And the most important piece of fragments, which in my opinion is extremely underrated and no one ever talks about, stat allocation. Sometimes you'll see people run what I call dead fragments, where they do absolutely nothing for the moment to moment gameplay and they don't even rely on like what benefit it offers them. It's entirely for the stats, entirely for stats, entirely. It could be plus 10 grenade, plus 20, whatever. Well, we haven't had a plus 20, whatever since year 5, but if they have it and you go, why are you using undermining when it already has weakened through here? Because they're just using it for stats. They're not actually using it. In your case, since you're setting up a movement loadout, and your movement loadout is going to focus on you being able to skate with high weapons, so you get ammo for your sword, weave skate, so you need high melee, and then your grenade, so you need at least 50 grenade, 55 grenade, that way you can get it back. You want to focus on your melee. And we're going to go over what that looks like. So, what I would recommend for you, which are going to be things that can kind of spec into what you're doing, so you have to think about them accordingly, though. We're going to open our subclass. Now, my first question before we even go into them, do you have all of your strand fragments unlocked? All of them. Okay. The first one we're going to look at is thread of transmutation. This is going to be your second row, second option. Go ahead and read the description. Okay. So with this, equip it. Now come out of menu, and I'm going to show you how it works. So you have a void weapon equipped in chronophage, right? Okay, come here. Well, once you rally, come back. And then from here, I'm going to give you woven mail. I want you to kill this legionary once you have woven mail with chronophage. See how you got a tangle from that? That happened because you have transmutation equipped. Naturally, you're not able to create that unless you alter an enemy's being with a strand status debuff. So severing them, unraveling them, suspending them, grappling them, so on and so forth. But with transmutation active, it's something that you can actively do all the time. In real time, this is important for you because let's say you're moving or you want to get somewhere, or let's say we just finished a Gryos and you're like, damn, I could grapple up there, but I need a tangle. Fuck. Babe, can you woven mail me? Sure. And then you kill this with chronophage. And now you have a tangle. And now you can move. Make sense? Perfect. Okay. Moving on. Your next one is going to be thread of propagation. Now, this is going to be your first experience with a dead fragment. For me, I run this in my case because the kit that I'm showing you this on, my Broodweaver kits are spec'd for grapple melee. So everything here is connected to me increasing my grenade and my melee stat. But this is a pseudo dead fragment. Technically not, because if I kill something with a grapple punch, then it means my navigator will be shooting unraveling rounds, which can help, and it can also stun barrier champions if I need it to. But because of the efficacy of the build, I'm never going to be in a situation where I'm like, oh boy, I need unraveling rounds to help me right now, or else I'm cooked. No. There are situations, though, where you can be helped by this, and you can use some pretty unique interactions with other strand weapons. For example, the shotgun sword bearer from Crota's End can roll with demolitionist 1-2 punch. And if you have propagation active and you kill something with a melee blow, where you might be in a situation where you say you encounter barrier champions, now you have something to fight that without having to use the artifact or anything else. Now, the next one I'm going to give you is the last requisite. The last two, you can choose whatever you want to choose. But the last one I'm going to give you is Thread of Generation, which means that every time you deal damage, you will generate 5% of grenade energy. This is critical because it means everything you do, no matter how you do it or where you do it, as long as it's hitting something, you will be getting back grenade energy. That could be the make or break between fuck, I'm stuck here, and I got my grapple. I'm out of this bitch. So let's say I waste my grenade. Let's say I need something back. Even uncharged melee will slowly give me back my grenade until I have another one. There you go. And if you do waste a grenade, particularly a grapple grenade, anytime you waste it, if it doesn't connect with anything, you automatically get 50% of it refunded for free. So long as you cancel it when you use it if it's not touching something. So if I use it and then I don't cancel it, then it expends the charge. But let's say I get it back. And then I'm like, oh shit, that's not what I wanted. And I press L1 again, or in your case, LB. You'll get 50% of it back for free, which is the game's way of saying, I know you didn't mean to do that. It's okay. Here you go. Now, in your case, with the Wanderer and Weave Walk equipped, you have 5 fragment slots, and right now you've used 3 of them. So you can go through each of the remaining set to figure out what you want to use in your kit that you feel is most applicable to how you play. Alrighty. What'd you nitpick? That's great. That's great. Walk me through that. Why'd you make your picks? Transmutation? No. You're not making a bad choice. The reason why I asked you is because I want to make sure that when you make these choices, they're considerations that you're thinking about in every waking moment. Remember, this loadout is your identity. So whenever you're walking around with it, regardless of what you're doing with it, everything that you have equipped will be a part of what you can do. As long as you're wearing loadout, whatever number you save it on, and you're a broodweaver, these are the things you have access to in your kit. Part of being able to master loadout swapping and understanding what makes a loadout is making sure that you mentally have paradigm shifted with your loadout swap. If you ever swapped to something, or in the past you've ever swapped to something and then gone, fuck, I'm trying to do etc. thing with this, but this is not that subclass or this is not that weapon. It's because you're trying to fix your muscle memory into multiple places at once. Each thing needs its own muscle memory. And that takes time because you have to learn it as you do it in repetition. As Victoria would say, repetition legitimizes. No. How does that feel? Mm-hmm. Does it feel good to know, though? It's okay. Talk with Mama. What's going on? Well, even that's not that bad because that means you had 50% of the knowledge of what they do. So now you have 100%. Now, granted, like you said, that curve of, okay, I have full understanding of what they do now. So this is going to take a little bit of adapting, getting used to, and making sure I'm holding myself accountable on my end. Yes. And that part of the curve is natural. That just comes through repetition and time. But you know. So now that you know, the goal for you, and this is for you in particular, this is not about the game, you have to trust yourself and let your muscle memory work for you. What do I mean by that? So, I'm going to give you an example of something that I used to do all the time when I started learning grapple melee. So, normally, what you would do for grapple melee, let's say I'm by myself and I want to make sure that I'm getting the most damage possible. So, I'm trying to be optimal. I would drop a navigator point, swap, tractor, 1-2 punch, punch, tractor, punch, shotgun, punch. Might make a mistake here and there, make a rotation up, get the damage back. But that can take a lot. So for myself, mentally, when I started learning, I won't hold you. High key, the only thing I was doing was okay, so you place the thing and then gotta look at it. Okay, and then I gotta back up and oh fuck, well, I might not be standing close enough. Okay, well let me okay. Fuck. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can. All right. I kind of got that. There was so much thought going into what I need to get done in the rotation. I wasn't doing the rotation because every time it came for me to do the rotation, I was just like, I don't. My brain is everywhere but just doing the rotation. So I started. Holy shit! There's a sweeper bot up there. I did not notice that. I started just telling myself, just flow into it. So I started by just practicing grapples. Not even melee, just the grapple. Just how consistently can I get myself back looking at the grapple? Because that's the crux of grapple melee. I need to make sure that I have attention on my grapple point, otherwise it doesn't work. Okay. Okay, I can do that pretty consistently. Now, how much can I do it with a boss? Okay. Okay, now how much can I do it with a moving boss? That might be trying to kill me. Okay. Oh shit, I fucked up. Okay, well, hold on. Let me see if I can fix it. Let me see what I can do. How can I move around? What can I foster for this? Okay, I need damage. I ran out of it. I accidentally fucked it up. Okay, alright, they're staggered. Fuck, I didn't pay attention. I didn't set my shit down. Okay, I gotta grab another one. I gotta set that up. I gotta do some damage. I gotta get in there. Let me see if I can get my grenade back. Fuck, I'm at critical health. I gotta make sure I'm watching my health. I don't want to die. Okay. Okay. That one missed. Okay. Oh, fuck, I missed again. Okay, maybe I can super. And it started turning into this mass sea of things that I was and wasn't doing. And every time I was doing one thing, I wasn't doing the other thing. And every time I wasn't doing another thing, I was doing something else. And it kept leading me back to go, damn, I'm not dumb. There's got to be something I'm doing wrong. And part of what that was just not thinking about the execution based on what I'm doing in that moment, and instead thinking about the process, about what it should look like and why it should look that way. And the more I had to keep spending time going, well, no, that's not how it looks in the video I saw. No, that's not how it looks in the thing I saw. No, that's not how it looks in the other thing I saw. I kept reaching moments of, okay, I don't understand what I'm doing that fucks it up. Because everyone else does it, and the shit just fucking dies, and it's perma-stun locked. I do it, and it takes a fucking eternity. I gotta manage the boss. I gotta get stacks and all this other shit. I can't walk around. I gotta figure out what the angle is to stand in the right place, and I might fuck that up too, and I don't want to fuck that up either. And it's a whole lot of shit, and I don't want to fuck it up. Now I'm scared, so now I don't want to do it. No, that's the point. The point is to be scared. The fear of the encounter is what makes you respect the boss and engage appropriately. The more you choose to embrace the fear of what you don't know, you start to master the fear of doing what you do know. So then you go from that to, okay, everything is moving in real time now. I have to execute. I have to lock this in. I only have so much time for damage. Okay. I have to make sure I get that. Okay. Tractor. Okay. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. And you speed up every time you do it. And you get something up, and then you get it back, and then you do it again. Okay? No tractor. Again. All right, I have 4 seconds. No phase. No phase. No tractor. No tractor. I'm running out. I'm running out. I'm running out until eventually you run out of time, and it's too late, and there's nothing you can do. And now your phase is closed, and you're by yourself, and you have to start all over again, and it fucking sucks. And now you're dead. Because you spent so much time thinking about what not to do to not fuck it up that you lost all of your time to do anything in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Part of what makes the gameplay moment to moment engaging and riveting is that you have to constantly engage on your muscle memory. Everyone in the in-game sphere always talks about you got to make better choices. We need high execution players, but they're all dog shit. They never talk about what actually makes something high execution. And what makes it high execution is pressure. Constantly being under pressure makes you make the most out of very, very, very little. And the higher that climbs, the more pressure there is. But in your case, you're learning. And that pressure at the start is you, because a lot of it will come down to your faith in yourself to execute and your knowledge of what to do. You might run into situations that are like, I fuck. In fact, you said you were running, what is it, Vespers the other day with Noel? I promise you, you got up there, you all were like, all right, let's do it. We just did it earlier in a trio. We'll lock it in. Lilith guided us. We can figure this out. You get up there, fucking, okay, there's lightning all over the floor. I can't fucking touch the floor. Fucking, I'm being shot at 6 different ways. I'm being sniped twice. I don't fuck, man. I might die. This is kind of cooked. I don't know what's going on. I need help. I need help out here. And suddenly now you're dead. Oh, hey, no, I've got you. No, don't. There's lightning right, and now you're both dead. All right, hold on. No, I got a rift. You drop the rift, you both get shocked inside the damn rift the moment it touches the floor. And it starts to feel like, damn, there's so many things going on. My brain can't focus on what to do because I'm overwhelmed. Exactly. That is entirely intentional. Every time your brain enters a high caliber, speedy situation and gets to a point where it becomes dangerous and it becomes stressful and you don't know what to do and you don't know how to execute, that's your body telling you, let me take control. That's your muscle memory telling you if you can control what you're doing, your brain can just flow. That's your body telling you sometimes I don't need you to think. Sometimes I don't need you to execute. Sometimes I don't even need you to like deconstruct what you're doing or why you're doing. I just need you to work with purpose. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard me say the phrase, all right, y'all, let's move with purpose. Come on. Moving with purpose is okay. We just started damage. All right, I got to hurry up. I got to lock that in. Okay. All right, they're moving. They're on the move. Come on. Come on. Come on. Tractor. I missed. Okay. Come on. All right. I missed a rotation. It's okay. Get it back. Make the damage up. Make the damage up. Make sure you're doing something. Always keep moving. Always have something going on. Always make sure your hands are doing something in that moment. And that's your body. You can't think about that. There's no way to think about that in terms of how you actively engage or what you do to keep going. That's just your body telling you, okay, there are things I can do right now. There's something I can do to make this work right now. There's something I can do to make this happen right now. I just want to make sure that I'm doing something. And the more you can do that, I promise you, the faith in your body, in your muscle memory, will overtake the faith of what you're doing in that moment. Remember, you weave skated accidentally. The accidentally part is the key word because you did not remember how to weave skate, but you did. You couldn't recall how to weave skate. You didn't remember the sequence I told you to do, but your hands, your brain did. So when you saw me and you saw me jump, you thought, oh, yeah, so that's what the weave skate is. And then you just did it. And you didn't think about it. You didn't ask me what to do. You just did it because that's what entered your head. Combat is the exact same way. And the more you start to get in tune with that, the more you start to flow with that, the more it will break down. It'll become even more and even more riveting to the point that you don't even think about what you can do for certain things because you'll just start telling yourself what you're going to do. Oh, the boss is grounded? Fuck that. Fuck the rotation. I'm going to punch the shit out of it. Yeah. I'm just going to keep punching it. Well, we can't just punch it all the time. Says who? What? Fuck that. What the fuck? I got the shotgun. Oh, okay, I died. Okay, cool. Well, the concept still stands. I want to keep punching it though, but I died. So I need to think about what I did, how I died, when I died to make it better. And that alone is going to make it better. Here, hold on. I'm going to set up the VC so we can swap, so B can be in VC with us. But this is great. And you're doing fantastic because your hands are learning a fuck ton, but your brain is telling you that if I can't keep up with all this actively, I'm not learning at all. You have to trust your hands more than you trust your brain sometimes. You have to. It's imperative. Okay, I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. I know. We're doing well. We're teaching King King new things. I wrote King King and it fucking censored King King. But then it didn't censor it the last fucking time. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't understand who the fuck made the fucking moderation for in-game chat for my. I swear to God, it's so ass. It's so dog shit. I don't get it. I don't understand what the logic is. I don't. No. Hi Noel. I'm just teaching King King new things. We're going over loadouts and loadout swapping and movement loadouts. And we had our small little training arc with her. You want to show Noel what you learned? You want to share what you learned? Mm-hmm. You see that distance, Noel? Mm-hmm. She zoom. There you go! Let's go! See? 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 Look at what you inspired. Look at what you inspired. Look at what you inspired. Oh, that's peak. That's peak. That's so peak. That's so peak. It's like unison. Yeah. Now, to finish up, because we are going to start working on some stuff here, because I know you want to get in the field. The last two things that you have to worry about, and this is going to be something that for you, I know is going to be like, oh, that's a lot. It is, but we'll work through it together. Armor. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's time. It's time to have that conversation. Your movement loadout should always be supported by an exotic that furthers, betters, or increases either your movement or your ability to weapon gen, or my bad, ammo gen, so that way you have ammo for movement. So, what that looks like for you, King King, we're going to open our inventory. You're going to go to collections. You're going to go to the warlock. And there's this little ditto on the bottom right of page 2 called transversive steps. I want you to pull that out for me. Okay. Here, I'll send you an invite so you can get back in. Oh, our goblins are here. Hi, Zulu. Hi, Polly. We're okay. King King is going through her training arc right now, so we're working on some things. And he doing what? Hell no. Hold on. Where is my shit at? Babe, hold on. Give me one moment. King King? You okay? Is your mind fluttering and trying to put all the pieces together? It can be overstimulating. I promise we're at the end. So, we're going to do two things, and then from there, we're going to start actually going to do active stuff. And the first thing is going to make you laugh your ass off, but we'll get there. So, King King, what we're both going to do, we're going to make the last part of your traversal load up in the form of your exotic, your armor, your stats, and your weapons. Did you pull that transversive steps? Perfect. Okay. So, with that, I want you to put that on. Go ahead and read what it does for me. Okay. So, why will this benefit your load up? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And why will the secondary benefit also boost your load up? Not yet. The boots themselves, or the what is it? The reloading aspect. We have one more thing that we're gonna go over before we end today and start doing stuff. It's gonna toss you. It will toss you. So I want you to be prepared. Your girl needs desperate, 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 desperate amounts of more gunner armor. Oh, it's bleak. So, with those on, I want you to go ahead and set up your loadout, your armor particularly. I want you to gear your stats towards at least 120 weapons, and then the rest of it half split between grenade and melee, but focus melee. So weapons, then melee, then grenade, and then the rest is negligible. Hmm. 120. Okay. Do you have any other alternate armor pieces that can maybe boost? Oh, that's perfectly fine then. Then if what you have is what you can get, then that's what we'll work with for now. Hmm. I like my coat, but these pants are disgusting. There's like nothing soft enough outside of these to really like make it work. Ugh. Okay, that's fine. And then 1 second. Okay, and then I'll respec mine. Hold on, before I do that, I want to check your stats. Okay. King, you've done the way between quest and equilibrium, right? Okay. Alrighty. Now, as we're going over it, we're going to go over our mods. uh, make sure you have your drip in check too. So, part of your armor mods that will. What the fuck is that? Hold on. Sorry about that. I had a false alarm in my head. Part of your armor mods that contribute to your active movement loadout are always, emphasis, always going to be spec'd towards what you use your things for in real time as you're doing something else. So, what this means is things like ammo gen, things like restoration, things like melee movement. And for you, that's going to garner more directly towards what you're doing in the moment to moment in real time. So you can get the thing that you need back all the time. Does that make sense? Okay. So, for example, thinking about how your traversal movement works, right? Looking at, let's say, what is it? Your hands. What are good mods that you think you could run? Okay. And that's to get your grenade back, right? Good, good. Keep going. It does not. Okay. And then give me 1 second. Dexterity. You can pull it out quicker. Yes, technically it would. Test it out. Okay. The hell? All right, we're going to take a look at your mods. Alrighty. Now let's look at your chest, your legs, and your bond. So for them, I'm not going to tell you what to do because that's going to take away from the experience of you learning, but I will explain what mine are because I know you'll learn through osmosis. So for mine, particularly for my movement loadout, on my chest, I have melee damage resistance because I'm typically up close to things. Honestly, I could probably replace that with concussive just because AoE might be a little more pertinent. I have good awareness. I have it charged up so I can have another armor charge. And then from there, I have void ammo gen because I'm going to be using my choir of one to generate most of my ammunition in what is it, traversal in real time. And on my legs, I have two enhanced athletics, so I go quicker, and then the stacks on stacks, which means every orb I get two armor charge. So I only need two orbs max for max armor charge, and then I have a melee font, which will increase my melee stats by 20, so long as I have armor charge. And then your standard ammo gen siphon for orbs. And then my class item, mine, I have a time dilation because it means I gain more time on my armor charges. I have a powerful attraction, which will collect orbs when I cast my class ability. But in truth, probably going to replace that with time dilation because it's not needed. And then proximity ward because I can gain an overshield while doing a finisher. This can be useful if I'm caught in a fuck situation or I need to get myself out of something quickly. Okay, let's take a look. You're cute. You're very cute. Okay. So if you are going to copy us, there are a couple of things you do need to think about. So on your chest, for example, you only have the concussive dampener. Now, granted, you haven't upgraded this armor, but I'm not sure if that's a material thing or you usually don't. Um, when you do, that's good for DR, but on your legs, you're running as stacks on stacks. Now, remember, in order to hold armor charge, you either need to A, have something you're passively converting on your class item. So, for example, when you do a special finisher, which if on your class item you have it equipped, those are those yellow mods, it'll consume one stack of passive armor charge you have, which will, get you out of a sticky situation, or, you could be using something else like melee, overwork, healing, so on and so forth. Or B, you need to be running a font. A font mod is a mod that will increase your stat allocation of whatever stat so long as you have armor charge. And then they work on a 20, 40, 50 basis. So let's say, like in my case, naturally I have 87 melee. But with the plus 20 from one font, as long as I have armor charge, now I have 107 for 30 seconds. Alrighty, let's take a look. Okay. Alrighty. And then my last question, because it looks really good. You're doing very good. How are you making orbs? And there you go. Now, we're going to save your first new loadout. Open your inventory, open your loadouts, and place it down wherever you want to. How we feeling? It's a lot. It is a lot. It is a lot. And it's okay. It's okay for it to be a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to put into practice. But you know how we're going to get there? Hmm? Do you know King King? Do you? Do you? Do you know? No! We're going to get there together. It can be scary. I know it can be. There's a lot of shit. A lot of shit. A lot. It's a lot. It's a lot, a lot, a lot. But we can get there together. Promise. Now, let's say we go actually do some shit, yeah? Something that is much more shrimple. A little less mechanic-y, more dewy. What was that tidbit you were telling me the other day that you had some things you hadn't done yet? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hmm. Alrighty. Well, I tell you what. If you've done all of it, and we do mean all of it, then we're gonna go do something that you will have fun doing, but I know you don't want to do. You know what that is? Oh no, you all aren't ready for Trio DSC. Not yet. Not yet. Soon. Soon, but not yet. Not yet. No, no, no. Where do you think we're going? Hmm? Ah, well, I mean, hey, you got. I need an answer. The clock is tick. Still don't know. Oh, I know. I'm gonna help her with that. The same way I'm gonna help you. But we're gonna do something fun first. to break up the pace, or to go see a certain person that you like fighting. Go to a place that's really cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
You arrive. Good. Yes. We have only a brief window of opportunity. The darkness is thick here, coalesced inside this effigy of Emperor Callus. It is tethered to his very mind. I have snared that thread, caught it between my fingers and woven it into a tapestry. One that I can weave you into. Enter Callus's consciousness. Use this opportunity to steal his darkest secrets from him. Now go. Time is of the essence. What you feel may seem like reality, but it is not the one you know. Your mind now stretches across a vast gulf. Though while this world is born of Callus's thoughts, it is no less
Guess the new
dangerous than
insurance here, their
physical
policy may have
reality.
changed.
This is not what I anticipated. The imprint of Callus's consciousness is fractured, straining, as if Callus's mind is at war with itself.
My rise as Emperor is an ancient tradition of our people.
Callus? No, not Callus, but an echo of him. This is a recollection of a time since past.
My bell of conquest is so grand, because I have lived a grand life. One day, my daughter, yours will be just as majestic.
You are experiencing echoes of Callus's personal torment. Glimpses into his past which may provide insight to the future. I must focus to maintain your connection to this mindscape. From here, you must navigate these memories on your own.
Oh? Left directional button? My go. you killed the last one. Oh. Actually, wait, hold on. I should have waited. Hold on. We're going to restart, and I'm going to show you both how to get up there the right way. Maybe a little master thrown into the mix, yes? No, I'm joking. Unless. Nah. But maybe. Nah. Although. Maybe.
You arrive. Good. Yes. We have only a brief window of opportunity. The darkness is thick here, coalesced inside this effigy of Emperor Callus. It is tethered to his very mind. I have snared that thread, caught it between my fingers and woven it into a tapestry. One that I can weave you into. Enter Callus's consciousness. Use this opportunity to steer his darkest secrets from him. What you feel may seem like reality, but it is not the one you know. Your mind now stretches across a vast gulf.
Now, I'm going to show you how that movement loadout that you just made comes in handy.
It's not what I anticipated. The imprint of Callus's consciousness
No,
is
B, stop.
fractured, straining, as if Callus's mind is at war with itself.
Okay. Everyone got their grapple ready? Polly, you're unmuted.
Callus? No, not Callus, but an echo of him. This is a recollection of a time since past.
My barrel conquest
One
is so
moment.
grand, because I have lived a grand life.
Okay, you both got your grapples ready?
Yours will be just
Everyone's going to look at me. And we'll, nope. B is not on
You are
Brood either.
experiencing echoes of Callus's personal
Okay.
torment.
I won't take us to the top then. I'll
Glimpses
show
into
B
his
how to get
past
up
which
from
may
there.
provide
Babe,
insight
you're
to
going to
the
grapple
future.
onto my thing. You
I
ready?
must focus to maintain your connection to this mindscape. From here, you must navigate these memories on
Alright, hold
your
on.
own.
I'll come back for you. Alright, baby, did you use your grenade? How much do you have left? Still have. Okay, that's fine. I was going to show you how to grapple to the top, but I'll show you all the long way. And then B, I should probably show you how to make a movement loadout too. Here, come on. Hold on. Where's the other one? Okay. And then King, go over to the other side. Use these back platforms at the end. Then we'll use the side. And we'll come up.
Guardian down.
Gonna come over here. And then we'll jump over here.
Guardian down.
Huh? Did you? Okay. Everyone inside the bubble? Okay. Now from here, come to me. And fall inside this hole. B? Where Nameless is. This isn't a fast shot either. This is actually how you do it normally too. You normally would just fall down here. Wait, King, where are you? Are you up top? Okay. Here. So let's all jump here. Okay. We're all gonna fall down here. We're gonna jump in here. Okay. And then we're gonna fall down.
Exile is the mighty goal to great a tower. Kneel down and take my head from my shoulders. I am as you make me, and I will kill you of my choice. But it is not. Kaido stayed my blade.
Okay. And then we fall down the chasm.
You were bred to be a sorrow bearer. I seek a hive commander, but those are not so readily available. So I made you.
Okay. So checking in, because we are at our first encounter. Have either of you done duality before? You have? Okay. How long ago was that? Okay. B. I think she's typing. No. B. What do you remember of this? You did. Was it in the server? I didn't hear anything. No, I saw you say you don't remember. That's why I was asked, like, what do you remember? You're fine. All I remember is that we do DPS in the alternate room and then need to not be in the bell radius to die. Okay, give me 1 minute. Okay, so B, The way that this encounter works, so as you can see in this room, there are different bells and things. Here, this is an encounter where we can move and it doesn't start anything, so I can just show you. So on each side, there are standards. That's what these are called. So this one is the sun, the cup, war beast, and then axe. So our goal, we have to get to damage. We need to start on each side when we rally, when everyone's ready. We'll start. We come to the bell. We ring the bell. And then from there, once we ring the bell, we go over for damage. Not for damage, like for mechanics. When we get to the other side, this bell will be locked, and there will be 2 incendiors called bell keepers that we need to kill in order to activate it. There are 2 sides of the arena. It's going to be the south, the north. Depending on which bell is active, that will be the other side that you need to kill. So, for example, if this is the south, then the bell keeper is going to be in the north. If the bell is in the north, the bell keepers you need to kill are going to be in the south. Inside each room, you're going to find scions that are going to be called standard bearers. You need to kill them. They're going to have the appropriate scion. And then from there, you're going to need to function with that. So you'll kill them, take them out, kill the bellkeeper. They'll come back. You'll deposit your standard. When you deposit your standard, you'll open the room. You'll see a Sorrow Bearer's ghost in the form of Colossi in each room. You need to take them out. Once you're standing in the appropriate room, you need to ring the bell. It'll teleport you to the other dimension. When you do, you'll be trapped in a room with shades of Galron. You need to kill all of the shades in order to exit the room. You do that twice in a row, and then when you come back the second time, you kill all the shades of Galron and you get ready for damage. Make sense? Okay. And then B, for this boss, you're going to want to use something that's melee focused if you can. You don't have to. You can use weapons. It's just a little more inconsistent. So if you have a sword or anything like that, you can try to use it. I would not use Prometheus Lens on this boss. I'm going to be so real with you. You would need to use something that's a bit more on par because it will be moving. Think Harrow from Equilibrium, but much more tame and a lot less nonsense that can go on. It's a much wider arena though, so it can run away from us. And our timer, unlike Harrow, is going to be tied to an actual number. So when we start the damage phase, however much time we have in the Nightmare Realm is what we're going to have for damage. So if we have 30 seconds, at max, you're going to have about 20. That way you can make the trek back in 5, get to the bell, ring it, leave. If you ring the bell in the same frame, because of how it processes the transfer of dimension, since it moves us to an entire other tile set, strong chance it will just kill us and we'll die. So you want to try to always leave around 6 to 5 seconds just to make sure you have enough room to get there. Okay, go ahead and prep some loadouts. Give us 1 second, and it's into something, and we'll be right back. Y'all, so change of plans. Noel, I will pick this back up another time so we can teach you, but there were a couple of things that I did want to go over with Kina, but just me and Keen before you joined this morning. That's on me because I should have taken the time to explain that it was kind of a vulnerable teaching session because we had gone over a couple of things and there was some context that we wanted to finish talking about, but I didn't wait to consult before I invited you, so that's on me. We are going to depart, and I am going to ask you to depart the fire team. We will all be hanging out a little later today because we still have, the vow of the disciple that we plan to do that we talked about yesterday. But for the next, I'd say, a couple hours or so, it's probably just going to be me and Kina hanging because I have some things I want to show her, and then we're going to go over a couple of things. But if you stick around, I'm going to pass the VC over so that you all can, just stay in here and chill. I'm going to contact Kina, and then, we'll be around a little later so we can follow up. And maybe we can even fit this dungeon in so I can give you your Sherpa, okay? Thank you for understanding.